right, it's been an old story now. It's been 6 weeks, 5 weeks since the regular season ended. Super Bowl's over. All 5 jobs are filled. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Let's take a look back at the hiring cycle for 2023. Panthers, Texans, Broncos, Colts, and Cardinals. They have made their hires. Which team do you think made the best head coaching hire of those 5 individuals who'll be taking over those 5 teams?
Wow. Gosh. I don't look at any of them and think they're bad. I don't. The horrible thing is this is where it's tough. There was candidates out there that deserve another chance that got screwed over in their first chance. But I can't sit here and look at any of these guys and go, they don't deserve to be a head coach. Man, there's some real, perfect match with what the team needs right at this moment, right? Carolina, it's quarterback. All right, well, you got an ex-NFL quarterback who, played with some legends and understands. He's going to find that guy, So there's a lot of I feel like matches that make sense between the organization and the head coach. But it's hard not to just focus in on, Sean Payton. That to me, when all's said and done, I don't know if he was their top choice, but thank God it worked out that way, because now it's going to save the investment of Russell Wilson, and he's going to turn around this organization. I just have no doubt about this. This is one of the great coaches of this era. So I like them all. I really do. But yeah, Sean Payton, I think, takes the cake just because of his background and kind of the obstacles he has in front of him. I have the most faith in him.
I mean, we know that 2 or 3 of them are going to fail. That's just the way it goes. Peyton is the one who's the most accomplished. He's the most proven. And we both believe in his eye for detail, his attention to detail, the work ethic, the fact that he constantly pushes to try to find a way to get ahead of the team that he's playing that weekend. And it's a constant struggle. He explained that to us last week. It was mesmerizing the way he was explaining the things he does to try to gain that edge and the breadth of the net that he casts looking for ideas. We told the story about the play card that he sent me after I was expressing to him amazement at just this idea that you can spend as much time as you want. You can stay up all night. You're only limited by the fact that the game starts when the game starts. You otherwise can work and grind and look at film of them, of you, and of anyone. And that's one of the things he does. He looks elsewhere. He found that play from Patriots-Bears that he thought would work in a Sunday night game against the Vikings. He drew it up. He dropped it in the mail, used it in the game, and scored a touchdown with it on a little jet motion touch pass against the Vikings defense that he knew based upon the system that Mike Zimmer ran, it would work. And it did work. So that's what he's always looking for. And that's why I think he's going to be a difference maker for the Broncos. And whatever Russell Wilson currently is, Chris, whatever he has left physically, Peyton is going to get the most out of it. And Peyton has the best of both worlds here. He's either going to be the hero for turning around Russell Wilson, or if Russell Wilson doesn't turn it around, it's not Peyton's fault.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right.
Great built-in excuse if Wilson stinks. No one is going to blame Peyton if Wilson can't get it done, because it's the second straight year that Wilson wouldn't have gotten it done.
I'm with you there. I agreed there. There. It is a nice little cushion for him. All right, so wait, we both agree on Sean Payton, but all right, so who's next? Who's the guy you look at? They go, okay, I don't think either one of us look at these guys and go, oh, that's a bad hire or anything. But who's the guy that, other than Sean Payton, you're most excited to kind of see what they do or what they can be?
Well, look, I'm not going to say bad hire, good hire. What I'm going to say is this. For 3 of these guys, we just don't know. They are stepping into a job they've never done before. We don't know that they have the skills necessary to parlay being effective coordinator into effective head coach. It's not just X's and O's now. It's everything. You have to be able to lead. You have to be able to motivate. You have to be able to talk to the whole room effectively. You have to be able to communicate with the individual players effectively. You've got to deal with the media effectively. Far different from anything you've ever done. So between DeMeco Ryan, Shane Steichen, and Jonathan Gannon, will they be another Nathaniel Hackett, or will they be the guy who steps into that job and gets it done? We know that, it's all the great coaches at some point were coordinators. Every once in a while you find a college coach who comes to the NFL and hasn't been an assistant and does well. It doesn't happen very often. Jimmy Johnson's the last one I can think of, and I can't remember much about his resume pre-Cowboys, but he was established college coach who figured out the NFL game without having been, I think, a coordinator. I don't know. Again, it was before I was covering the NFL, and I just don't remember if I ever even knew what his background was. But most of these guys who become great coaches, one of the boxes they've checked along the way is be an effective coordinator. We just don't know whether that's going to make them good head coach until they do it. So I'd say Reich then, because he's been a head coach, he's shown he can do the job. And Frank Reich with Andrew Luck got them to the divisional round in Kansas City 2018. And then Luck retired and they got thrust into this revolving door of veteran quarterback, and it just didn't work out. And Jim Irsay got impatient. I still think there was some lingering blaming of Frank Reich for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, right.
I frankly think that Irsay wanted to fire Reich after the 21 season and hire Jeff Saturday then, and he was talked out of it, and then just help himself halfway through the 22 season and just said, that's it for Frank Reich. Let's try this again. So I think Reich, you get him a quarterback that he can work with, that he can count on. And again, I don't mean that in a pejorative way toward Andrew Luck. If you're not ready to play football for whatever reason, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, you shouldn't be playing. But it caused Frank Reich to be dealt a rough hand. If he gets dealt a better hand at quarterback in Carolina, he could have a better outcome.
Agreed. I mean, I'm with you there. Like you said it right. I mean, of course, Peyton's the guy that's proven himself. Frank Reich's proven himself to a degree. And he had the deck stacked against him a few times too. And I don't think he really necessarily deserved to be fired this year. I don't. So I think there's a lot of potential there. I'm excited for all of them. DeMeco Ryans going to bring great energy to that organization and get them back going in the right direction, get that defense team playing fast. They got to get the quarterback situation figured out too, right? Jonathan Gannon saw big adjustments from him in just 1 year as a D coordinator. Simple as hell in year one in Philadelphia. Year two, kind of doing everything. Shane Steichen's the guy I'm probably out of the newcomers the most excited to see. Just because, hey, I'm a quarterback, and as I said yesterday, had my eye on his offense here for the last few years. I think it's one of the better, most well-orchestrated offenses in football, and again, an outside-the-box thinker. But, to your point, there's no guarantee that you're a great coordinator and you're going to be a great head coach. I mean, we've talked about, Vic Fangio, one of the greatest coordinators of all time. Head coach, wasn't the best. The guy we saw win the Super Bowl this weekend, Steve Spagnuolo, is one of the greatest D coordinators in the history of the game, period. I mean, it's three Super Bowl unbelievable defensive game plans to win it, all right? But it didn't necessarily translate to him either, so we'll see what happens with this group, but certainly some potential.
And he was 7-10 in his second year with the Rams, 1-15 his first year, 2-14 his third year, and then got fired. And as I said the other day, that Rams team, I believe, may have been more concerned about laying the foundation to leave for L.A. than to win a Super Bowl or to be as good as they could be. And sometimes a coach gets caught up in the gears of an agenda other than building and sustaining the best possible team and having the best possible record.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.